event of this type, and I highly enjoyed it, and I also became a member of the platform. The platform you are all aware of, and since I'm joining, or since I joined this platform, I'm exchange with a pretty international audience, what I like a lot. Apart from that, I would like to go through the agenda with you, that you get a short idea what we are planning to talk about today. First of all, Jakob will introduce Redcare Pharmacy much more in detail, also himself. Later on, I will introduce AMB software, will also tell you a little bit about myself. Then I will present some advantages of Agile partnership in general. Then Jakob again will talk about how we got together and what is the current status of our cooperation and partnership. Then I will continue by coming to the title of the presentation, the acceleration of digital transformation through partnership with Agile service providers. And finally, we will give you results and outlook. And I hope you enjoy it. Questions we definitely can discuss in more detail afterwards when we have the discussion, and we are looking forward to it. So now let me hand over to Jakob, and I wish you a nice 30 minutes.
Yeah, hi everybody. We are going to talk about, as Hartmut just said, through transformation through Agile partnerships, and to understand what we are doing, I think it makes sense to explain a little bit where we are coming from, what we are doing at Redcare, and why it is important to have reliable partners working with us, helping us to accelerate, right? So what is Redcare? Redcare Pharmacy is a surprise, an online pharmacy, and our main motto, so to speak, is until every human has their health. It's something that basically goes with the company, who was founded around 2001 already, has always been an online pharmacy through all these years, through everything that we do, everything that we look past upon, and that we take a look upon the future. And little fun fact, obviously one of our main priorities currently is the e-prescription, where finally in 2024 it seems like it's coming in a way that it makes sense for everybody. But the fun thing here is that the company was founded in 2001 because, well, the e-prescription was around the corner in Germany. So a little over 2 decades later, we're there. So yay, digitalization in Germany. So a few key facts about Redcare. In Germany, you might know it as Shop Apotheke. We are the leading online pharmacy platform in Europe. We are active in 7 countries in Europe. We have over 2,000 employees, 10.8 million active customers, and I'm sure the latest figures from the last quarter will put us well above the 11 million mark. We have had 440 million website visits in the last year, and something that we are really proud of is the fact that 85% of our orders are repeated orders, so speaks for our customers being very happy with the service that we offer. You can see the 71 with the Net Promoter Score. It's actually something that is at the core of what we at Redcare are doing, with all of the things that we work on, all of the things that we fix, all of the things that we take a look at for our roadmap in the future. It is a lot about exactly that, taking a look at how happy are people, generally as an end customer, but also in specific cases where you have subsets of this NPS. And something what I find very important, but what I always tell new employees, especially, it's also part of our onboarding program, is actually, especially if you work in software development, where you are a bit distant to the, let's say, real and physical world, is that we send over 80,000 parcels every day from our main warehouse in the Netherlands. And as a software developer, you come in, you might work on, I don't know, the product page in the shop, yeah, and you know that every single line of code that you are contributing, it arrives millions of users, millions of visits every day. But once you put a foot into the warehouse and you actually see this working, the real physical world, it's just amazing. We have so many people working there. It's such a complex thing to deal with and to maintain, but to understand really the opportunities that there are, right? Things like our, what we call the A-frame, where we have a completely automated picking process for specific packages, depending on how often these are ordered and the size of them and so on. It kind of gives you a reality check in the reality really. And of course, most important in the end, you always want to basically measure what's coming out of this whole thing. And we have been at 1.8 billion euros in sales the last year, looking forward to hit the 2 billion euros this year for sure. You can see a few of the key points that we are active in. I would say it's a lot of classic e-commerce involved, yeah. So a marketplace as an extension. I will talk more about this today. Same-day delivery, medication management. This is an area where we already leave the classic e-commerce. Very interesting field. Of course, customer loyalty programs. We have native apps in the stores, a set of them, but mainly, of course, also the shop. And also a classic thing to be involved in as an e-commerce player is own brands. Yeah, with this, I will tell you a little bit more about me before I give it back to Hartmut. I'm basically the Director of Software Engineering for the Product Development Department, Retail and Platform. In short, that means that I am responsible for our software developers working on the product. For us, the product is the shop, so that means website, complete journey from you enter as a customer until you place the order and you see the confirmation page and you get your mail that everything is done, and the same goes for our native app. And we are a department of around 150 people, and my 90 engineers roughly are all basically not depending on me. I am depending on them, obviously, but I'm doing all my best to make them as happy and as efficient as possible and to really create an environment where people can create and work on the product all together. And this is essentially one of the biggest important things for us. As you see, we are very customer-centric, and for us, this means also working on a product means that tech and product are very closely related. Yeah, we are not a tech company, but that does not mean that we need to have excellence in tech, and therefore being very close together. In my case, with our director product, is basically day-to-day very, very essential. And for my role, as it's very common, I am coming from the software development background. I have worked with bigger companies such as Rocket Internet, Home24, Axel Springer, but also in smaller startups, the cliche things where you start in a garage and might get a bit bigger or also might not. Yeah. But that's more than enough about me, and I give it back to Hartmut.
Thanks, Jakob. So, now a few words to AMB Software and also to myself. Also, we are a typical family-owned, medium-sized software engineering company. We are located in Zielona Góra, which is Poland, close to Berlin and in Berlin. And we have, let's say, around 85 employees right now. We are steadily growing, have another network of around 250 experts, which we can use if necessary. But when we are starting new projects and we need more engineers, we fully employ them, because we found in the past that this is a better system to be bound to your employees when you are working on projects. The owner of the company is Juanita Gonowitz. She started the company 23 years ago and hired me more or less 7 years ago. So that means for 7 years I'm pretty glad to be part of this company and part of the team. The team concentrates on software development, IT outsourcing and nearshoring. This is a business because most of our clients are currently in Germany. We are also active in other markets, but we have definitely, let's say, most of our assignments in Germany. We also do IT consulting and like the cloud a lot. These cloud services are definitely state of the art. You all know that. Most of our employees are certified either by Google Cloud or by AWS. And maybe also a few words to myself. I have a commercial background. I'm in the digital, let's say, business environment for more than 20 years. When I started working for AMB Software, I did my Scrum Master. Finally, last week, I also got the certification on IE, Artificial Intelligence, Prompt Engineering. And you might remember the first presentation we got today that one of the gentlemen, he's unfortunately not in the room, mentioned artificial intelligence cannot help you preparing a presentation or cannot do the presentation for you. I wouldn't share this view. I think it's a powerful tool which we all should take an eye on and should train ourselves continuously because the speed is tremendous how it evolves. So, have all my points. Let me have a look at my glasses, just a second. Okay, maybe which is also worthwhile to mention is in which industry we are working. Apart from retail, we are also working in insurance, banking. I mentioned already the partnerships we are having with Google Cloud, with AWS, and this is more or less the main focus. But now let's move on the advantages of Agile partnerships. I mentioned it, that I consider, or I personally consider artificial intelligence as a powerful tool. And when I worked on this presentation and prepared some slides, I thought one second, why don't you test it? And I just put inside advantages of Agile partnership into Copilot, which is more or less ChatGPT. And you see the results, what came out, the advantages, flexibility, adaptability, efficiency, customer satisfaction, employee engagement and collaboration, cost efficiency, access to expertise. And you see in summary, which is the last sentence, I don't have to read it for you, it brings together a lot of advantages. What was not mentioned, and which I think it's important to name here today, that in Agile partnerships brings you also much more innovation and speed. And I think this is naturally explaining because when you are sitting together with partners, you start discussing like we're doing it afterwards, you come to other results, you have another approach, and this is normally pretty helpful. So, Jakob, I think we continue with you again. Now you can tell us a little bit more about our collaboration.
Yeah, so let's get our hands a little bit dirty, not too much, don't worry. I want to explain a little bit the situation that we were in 2021 and basically something that goes with us all the time, but this is basically an excerpt of the typical things that we face every day, every week, every month. And it is a little bit like having a house, building a new house, and after some time you really need to think about, okay, what do you have to change? What is it important to have everything at the same time? Do you fix a little bit so it works on later better? But as much as you would renovate a house after, I don't know, 20 years, it is time to maybe renovate the software setup that you have after 10. Yeah? As I said, 2001, the company was founded and has always been an online pharmacy, an e-commerce system. We have had a big chunk of software all in one place, very old school, very hard to maintain, with unbelievable risks in performance, in how we manage the data, and so on and so forth. So there was time to rethink this, rework this, and make it better. So the main plan was that by the end of 2021, we wanted to release our new software platform, and I will not bore you with details about the technical stuff there, other than everything much better, more glowy, and so on and so forth, to have that release in our biggest market, which is Germany. Now, and I think we have heard this before, it's tough to explain to business deciders, decision makers, well, we will all go in one big room, physical or virtual, doesn't matter. We will be going into this room by some time before even 2021 in January, February, and we will not come out until sometime October with no additional features. To the end user, everything looks exactly the same. Then we even succeeded, but the whole new software in the background is completely replaced. Yeah? That's one thing, it's very essential. One of my jobs to explain why this is needed, but at the same time, we have ambitious goals with the company. One of these goals as an e-commerce player is extend your product portfolio while not necessarily extending and scaling all of the warehouse capabilities. Yeah? So a marketplace was the thing to build, to extend our software on. And our problem was, how do we do that? We don't have enough people. Yeah? Not only this, but also working on a complete new platform that has not even seen the light of day, already extending this with features where we don't even have the interfaces ready yet, and so on and so forth. Yeah, decision made, how do we do this? Well, I will explain it a bit, how we in the end became partners with AMB. But the decision was we will parallelize the streams of having one stream working on our new platform with the goal to replace, as I said, the shop with new foundations, and then at the same time, more or less as fast as we can, extend this with a marketplace where we are able to have other shops, other companies sell their products on our platform, basically becoming a platform ourselves, right? So in the end, that meant onboarding teams of AMB software in roughly February with our teams, and then working in these parallel streams until then in November we were able to release the marketplace. It was a challenging thing to do, and I think a little bit more here is on the next slide explained, but it has its benefits. We have seen the team size paradox, I think it was called, right? Where obviously it would be a little bit foolish to say, well, I just add more people and we will be by double the people, double the speed and so on. That's of course not how it is, but it does mean that you can work on more things at the same time, while of course it creates an overhead of maintaining, coordinating and so on and so forth. Quick look at the time. We are good. So how did we choose AMB software to do that? And well, obviously finding an adequate external help is not an easy task. We are looking for established partners that we work with, but also new partners to work with. And one of the typical things, of course, you do, that's why we're all here today, is relying on our network of people we know that are trusted in the industry. Yeah? So you know that if somebody from, let's say, a similar company tells you, well, we were very happy with the results of this and that company, you say, hey, well, maybe it's worth to check that out and see if we have some things in common. And we at Redcare, we have specific requirements in various aspects. It is crucial to find partners that share that mindset. And I try to close the loop here into why this in the end means an agile partnership, and a few contradicting maybe requirements that I want to list here. It's basically that Redcare really needs a reliable partner, of course, very logically, but also highly adaptable. Yeah? One of the good things is it has always been very clear in which direction we go as a company, what products we build, but of course, and this also goes back to, and I'm a bit sorry for the German government, but e-prescription was like a thing. You could see it also in our stock market. No matter how good our results was as an e-commerce company, the moment somebody said, well, we need half a year more to roll out e-prescription, all of the investors were like, oh shit, maybe not the best idea. But then again, next week, some positive news like we have had last week, it goes back up. Yeah? So we don't abandon the products that we work on, but we have to reprioritize regularly to see what are we working on. And that's something we also need with our external partners. Yeah? We cannot plan ahead 6 months and they know, okay, this is what they will be working on. There might be adaptations to it. And I will get back to that also in a later slide. So again, reliability and adaptability, quality, but also pragmatism. As we always say, we need to be sure that we have the right quality, that the users, again, we are very user-centric, of course, but also for the right legal matters, be compliant. You have audits that all check these things, but you cannot build always the golden handle, yeah, because then you will never finish. And then, of course, scalability and security. Security I mentioned, it's part of having the right quality. And scalability is something, we have a double-digit growth, more or less every quarter, not more or less, but every time, basically, at least that I can look back being with the company. And we are building things, as I said before, where a single line of code is being executed multi-millions of times every day. And we cannot and we do not want to touch something again that we build today and then like in 6 months or so just because it's too slow. Yeah. In short, for me, this means agile partnership, and that's what we have found and take the case today. So with this, back to Hartmut.
Thank you, Jakob. So a little bit now to the topic from the presentation and why do we think that the acceleration of digital transformations through partnership with Agile service providers have a lot of advantages. I think first of all, it's the first point, expertise and know-how transfer. Not necessarily, even if you have a huge IT organization, does it mean that you have all the know-how which is needed for a certain project. So with a partner who has this know-how, who has this expertise, you can start right away and do not have to wait for months until you find the expertise on the market. The know-how transfer goes certainly in both directions. Also, you learn from your client side, from your partner side, certain things, which is good because normally as a software or an IT service provider like AMB software, you have more than one client, which is good, and the exchange between the clients can be possible as long as they are not competing in the same industry. And this is actually our company policy, that we try to avoid having competitors as clients because there's always a problem, and you know Chinese walls are just existing on paper. Secondly, we can definitely provide rapid capacity extension. If you would come to me right after this presentation, would tell me I need a team tomorrow or next month, impossible. Because we look on quality when we are when we are creating and developing or building new teams. We also need some time to set up a team which has the quality you are looking for. That means from today's perspective, I would say the minimum time to set up a new Scrum team is 3 months. Because our developers are also not sitting in the room and just waiting that they can start working. They are all in projects. And when we are starting new projects, we bring new people together from existing projects, which we replace against new hires with people we are just hired to make sure that we always have an experienced team which fulfills the requirements we are looking for. Then we have this independent development approach. That means we are giving new ideas, let's say we are looking on certain topics from another angle, and this helps. And this discussion is always worthwhile when you are especially starting new projects, especially when you are talking about software architecture. We definitely want to provide value, and we also offer access to other partnerships to our partners because, for example, we are working closely with a great retailer in Germany. It's the Rewe Group. They have startups like commerce tools, like payment tools. And if there are certain bits which are useful, for example, for Shop Apotheke, then we name it. and we talk about it. Even if you have to differentiate between custom-made software development, like we are doing it for Shop Apotheke, or if you just use something which is already, let's say, pre-designed and which you cannot adapt so specifically to certain needs of an industry like Shop Apotheke or Redcare Pharmacy is looking for it. Yeah, that's from my side on this points, and maybe let's talk about some success factor. And Jakob, I think we should do it together. No?
Sure. Yeah. So closing slide for us. What were the success factors of our partnership? Well, for us, this is an experience I can share. It's never just that one project if you succeed, right? We have this quite some time, not only with teams and companies as partners, but also with individual external people, for example. If you are successful in what you're doing, there's a very big likelihood of repeating that success basically once more and maybe once more and then maybe once more after that. And for us, onboarding AMB meant basically onboarding a digital accelerator. We take a look on our time to market. We want to improve that. We want to increase that all the time. It's a core KPI for us, and in this case, with the marketplace, it meant like a double-digit increase of basically being able to ship that marketplace, in that case, to the German audience and the German customers. And as I said before, it's partially, of course, a challenging partnership because you have to talk a lot, you have to be as close as possible, especially in the example provided. So the close collaboration with these internal teams was needed, but also results basically in a win-win situation, meaning that AMB was able to deliver towards our standards and was able to take over further projects easily. And yeah, you can see a few examples here. Redcare and AMB Software, we rolled out that marketplace basically in time. I told you about the platform rollout that we have had in Germany, basically literally 2 weeks before that. And we rolled this out further in other markets, and it was very easy to basically onboard these teams on that project because they already knew the platform, right? And then, of course, here and there are a few key features, key products that we are working on, and then I would call this like an ad hoc support for key deliverables whenever we need this. So, success factors.
Thank you, Jakob. And apart from this hard facts or soft facts which were just presented, we also developed a kind of collaboration. That means we also go out. We use events where we can come together, where we have a drink, where we have a nice dinner or a nice lunch, also to enhance and to increase the exchange between our teams and the teams from Shop Apotheke. And this is always important, that you also create a certain kind of atmosphere, that you like to stay with each other, that you like to work with each other, and this is also always very important. And as a family-owned business, we like to always extend the family to a certain extent, and we are glad that we can say with Redcare Pharmacy we found a really good partner, a good partner to develop new initiatives, and we also like to spend time with you, and I'm glad that you have taken the time today and have been here to present it in detail. You see here our contact details. We can connect on LinkedIn if you like, and I'm looking forward to our discussion. Thank you very much.